Well, let me ask you something. We often hear this sentence, right? There is no freedom of speech in communism. But is that actually true? Or is it just a political slogan? Well, you see, the real answer is more complicated than a simple yes or no. So let's slow down and understand this properly. First, what do we even mean by freedom of speech? Freedom of speech means you can criticize the government, question leaders, share ideas publicly without fear of punishment. Now, let's talk about communism, not the idea, but how it worked in real countries. Because theory and reality are very different things. Historically, most communist states believed one thing very strongly, that the party represents the people. So, if the party speaks for everyone, then opposing the party is seen as opposing society itself, and that idea changes everything. Let's look at history. In the Soviet Union, freedom of speech existed only inside party approved limits. You could praise the system, you could criticize small local problems, but you could not question the Communist Party, challenge the leader, or promote alternative political ideas. Writers, journalists, and artists who crossed the line were censored, jailed, or exiled. That's not opinion, that's documented history. Now let's look at China. China today officially allows free speech in theory, but in practice, speech that challenges the ruling party, national unity, or state authority is heavily controlled. According to global surveys on internet freedom, China ranks among the most restricted speech environments in the world. Social media is monitored, certain topics are blocked, public criticism has limits. Now let's talk about North Korea. Here, the situation is extreme. There is no freedom of speech at all. The state controls media, education, and even private conversation. Speaking against the government can result in prison or worse. So when people say there is no freedom of speech in communism, they are usually talking about how communist systems were practiced, not just the ideology on paper. Now here is something very important. Is lack of freedom speech guaranteed by communism? Well, you see, communist theory itself talks about equality and workers' rights, but it does not clearly say how to protect free speech when one party holds all power. And in reality, when one party controls the state, controls media, controls courts, free speech becomes dangerous to those in power. That's why most communist governments chose control over criticism. Now, let's talk about today. Are there communist or socialist systems with some speech freedom? Yes, partially. Some countries allow debate on social issue, economic policy, and local problems. But when speech threatens political power, limits appear very fast. Now let's compare this with democracies. Even democracies sometimes restrict speech during war, emergencies, or hate speech cases. So no system has absolute freedom. The difference is this: in democracies, restrictions are usually temporary and debated. In communist systems, restrictions tend to be permanent and structural. Now the future question: can a communist system exist with real freedom of speech? Some thinkers say yes in theory, but history shows us something clear. Without independent courts, free media, multiple parties, freedom of speech struggles to survive. So let's answer the question honestly. Is there no freedom of speech in communism? In theory, it depends. In real history and real practice, freedom of speech has been extremely limited, and that's why this topic still matters today. Because once speech is controlled, everything else follows.